Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of our show, Terry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Music and Me. I'm your host, Terry, and I am so happy you're here today because today's episode is going to be a little bit different than the others. We're not talking about heartbreaking ballads, powerful anthems, or songs that make us cry into a pint of ice cream at 2 in the morning. Nope. Today, we're celebrating songs that were created for one very important reason: to make us laugh. I love to laugh so much. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do, besides cry, but that's a whole nother episode. So these songs that we're going to talk about today are songs that make us smile, make us sing along, and sometimes make us ask, how in the world did that become a hit? And honestly, I love those kinds of songs. Because let's face it, music doesn't always have to be serious, just like we don't have to be serious all the time. I'm almost hardly ever serious. Sometimes the best songs are the ones that are completely ridiculous. Songs about purple creatures, ducks that sing disco, foxes making strange noises, and people putting pineapples on pens. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? I don't know, but I am so glad that they did. The funny thing is that novelty songs and comedy songs have been around for decades, and somehow they always find an audience. Every generation has that one silly song that everyone knows by heart. You may not remember what you had for breakfast yesterday, but I guarantee if someone starts singing, "What Does the Fox Say?" you'll probably know exactly what comes next. These songs have a magical ability to stick in our brains forever. So, before we dive in, I want to ask all of you, what is the funniest song you've ever heard? And what song always puts you in a good mood? Think about it, because at the end of this episode, you might have a whole new playlist of silly songs to brighten your day. So, why do funny songs become so popular? I think there's a few reasons why these songs become so huge. First of all, humor is universal. Everybody loves to laugh. You don't have to understand every lyric or be a music expert. If a song makes you giggle, you've already connected with it. Second, funny songs are memorable. I mean, if I wrote a song called "I Went to the Store and Bought Some Milk," you're probably going to forget it in about 5 minutes. But if I write a song called "The One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater," you're probably never going to forget that. Third, these songs are just plain fun. They're the songs that come on at parties and everybody starts singing. They're the songs that get stuck in our heads. They're the songs that become inside jokes between friends and family. And I think we need songs like that. I mean, life can be stressful. We all have responsibilities, bills to pay, laundry that somehow never ends. I mean, seriously, where does all the laundry come from? Sometimes we just need a song that makes us smile for 3 minutes. A song that reminds us not to take life so seriously. And maybe that's why funny songs keep becoming hits year after year. They give us a little escape. They let us laugh, be silly, and just have fun. So today, we're going to celebrate some of the funniest songs ever recorded. And trust me, things are about to get wonderfully weird. It's time to dive into the songs themselves. Let me tell you, this list is all over the place in the best possible way. We've got purple monsters, disco ducks, and songs that ask questions science still hasn't answered. So let's get silly, everybody. We're going to be starting all the way back in 1958 with Purple People Eater by actor and singer Sheb Wooley, who also wrote the song himself. Now, if you've never heard this one, the title alone is amazing. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater lands on Earth because he wants to be in a rock and roll band. I mean, that's the plot. This song makes absolutely no sense, and that's exactly why it's so funny. It's completely ridiculous and wonderfully weird. And believe it or not, it became a number one hit. Apparently, people in the 1950s looked at this bizarre purple creature and said, yes, this is the song we need. And honestly, I think they were right. I did mention this in one of my Halloween episodes because it's about a monster. Next up is Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, released in 1960 and sung by Brian Hyland. This song was written by Paul Vance and Lee Pockris. Now, that's already one of the longest song titles ever. By the time you finish saying it, the song is practically over. The song tells the story of a shy girl who wears her new bikini to the beach and then gets too embarrassed to come out of the water. It's funny because it's such a simple little story, but the title is so catchy that it's impossible to forget. And let's be honest, we've all had moments where we wanted to hide from the world. Maybe not in a yellow polka dot bikini, but definitely in life. I know I have. Next, we have Yakety Yak. Now, this song came out in 1958 and was performed by the Coasters. It was written by the legendary songwriting team of Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. This song is basically every parent's to-do list. Take out the papers and the trash, sweep the floor, clean your room, and the kids' response? Yakety yak, don't talk back. I can practically hear every parent listening right now saying, oh no, you absolutely better not talk back. The humor comes from how relatable it is. Every generation of kids thinks their parents ask them to do way too many chores. And every generation of parents thinks their kids don't do enough. So some things never change. All right, this next song is hilarious, and it's one of my favorites on this list. It's called The Streak, and it came out in 1974 and was written and recorded by Ray Stevens. The song was inspired by the streaking craze of the 1970s, when people were, for some reason, running naked through public places. I don't know why this became a trend, and I don't want to know why this became a trend. The song is told through fake news reports as people react to seeing the streak. It's completely absurd and wonderfully goofy, and it became one of the biggest hits of the year. Proof that if you write a funny enough song, people will absolutely buy it. This song had me cracking up so hard. It is so funny. So if you haven't heard it, give it a listen if you need a good laugh. All right, if you thought things couldn't get stranger, allow me to introduce you to Disco Duck. Released in 1976, the song was written by radio personality Rick Dees and performed by him with a very enthusiastic duck voice. That's right, a duck, singing disco. This song is funny simply because the entire concept is ridiculous. The duck starts dancing, and suddenly everybody wants to dance with the duck. You know, as one does. And somehow this song became a number one hit. So never underestimate the power of a catchy beat and a talking animal. And I mentioned a parody of this song in one of my birthday episodes because I remember when I was a kid, I had a Mickey Mouse record and it had Macho Duck, which is Disco Duck, but a parody sung by Donald himself. All right, jumping ahead to 1997, we have Barbie Girl by Aqua, written by the members of the group along with producer Johnny Jam. This song is pure camp. It's bright, over the top, and completely committed to its plastic, fantastic world. The lyrics are intentionally silly and exaggerated, and that's what makes it so much fun. I don't know a single person who can hear, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party," and not immediately start singing along. It's impossible. Science should probably study it. Also, fun fact, I do a Barbie workout a lot because it's one of my favorites, and the song is in it, of course. Every time I hear the song, I think about the dance moves in my workout video. Next up is the song I'm Too Sexy. This song was released in 1991 and was written by the members of Right Said Fred. The entire song is basically one giant joke about being ridiculously confident. I'm too sexy for my shirt. I mean, imagine having that level of confidence. I wake up and wonder if I'm too tired to find my shirt. So that's confidence if you're too sexy to not even have a shirt. The deadpan delivery is what makes this song so funny. They sing it so seriously that it somehow becomes even more ridiculous. This is a good song. I love it. Next, released in 1999, is Mambo Number 5, recorded by Lou Bega and based on an instrumental piece originally composed by Perez Prado. This song is basically a grocery list of names. A little bit of Monica, a little bit of Erica, a little bit of Rita. This list just keeps going. By the end, I'm always wondering how this man keeps everybody's birthday straight. I mean, it's catchy, playful, and just plain fun. Great song, and reminds me of my childhood. The next song is Baby Got Back. I know everybody knows this song. This 1992 hit was written and performed by Sir Mix-a-Lot. The song opens with one of the most famous spoken intros in music history, and then launches into an unapologetically funny celebration of curves. The lyrics are exaggerated, bold, and packed with humor. So whether you've heard the entire song or not, chances are you know at least one line from it. That is the power of a comedy hit. Finally, in this section, we have Who Let the Dogs Out, released in 2000 by Baha Men. The song was written by Anselm Douglas and became an absolute worldwide phenomenon. Let's be honest, nobody actually knows who let the dogs out. And after all these years, we're still asking the question. The barking, the chanting, and the sheer silliness of it made this song impossible to ignore. It became a sporting event anthem, a party favorite, and one of the most recognizable songs of the early 2000s. And honestly, I'm still waiting for someone to solve the mystery. I mean, who did let the dogs out? We all want to know. Now we're moving into a different era of funny songs. Back in the day, a novelty song became a hit because people heard it on the radio or saw it on television. Today, one weird video on the internet can turn into a worldwide phenomenon overnight. And honestly, the internet has given us some absolutely glorious nonsense. Let's start with the song that asked the question nobody was asking. What does the fox say? By the Norwegian comedy duo Ylvis. It was released in 2013 and was written by brothers Vegard and Bard Ylviskarker, along with the production duo Stargate. And forgive me for my pronunciation of these names. The song was actually meant to be a joke. I mean, a joke. Ylvis created it as a comedy sketch and didn't expect it to become an international smash hit. Instead, the entire world collectively decided that we absolutely needed to know what noises a fox makes. The answer apparently is ring ding 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 dinger ding a ding. I'm sorry, what? Even now, I hear that song and start laughing. The music video is also hilarious. The lyrics are ridiculous, and the fact that everyone somehow memorized those strange fox sounds makes it even funnier. I can barely remember where I put my keys, but I can still sing the fox noises from 2013. I mean, make it make sense, people. And now we've arrived at perhaps one of the strangest songs ever recorded. Pen, Pineapple, Apple, Pen. Or, as fans call it, PPAP. It was released in 2016 by Japanese comedian Pico Taro, whose real name is Kazuhiko Kosaka. The song is only about a minute long. I mean, 1 minute. I've spent longer deciding what snack I want or what I want to watch on TV. The lyrics are incredibly simple. a pen, an apple, a pineapple. That's basically it. And somehow, this tiny little song became a worldwide sensation. The dance went viral. Celebrities were talking about it. And suddenly, people everywhere were singing about fruit and office supplies. I mean, the internet is a magical place. And by magical, I mean deeply confusing. Then we have the king of the internet sensations, Gangnam Style, released in 2012. This song was performed and written by South Korean superstar Psy. This song didn't just become popular, it took over the planet. The music video became the first video on YouTube to reach 1 billion views. 1 billion. That's a lot of people doing the horse dance. Part of what makes the song so funny was Psy himself. He completely committed to the silliness of the video with his dancing, facial expressions, and over-the-top energy. Even if you didn't understand the Korean lyrics, you understood one thing. This guy was having the time of his life, and that's infectious. I guarantee almost everyone listening tried the horse dance at least once. Some of us looked graceful. Some of us looked like we were trying to swat bees. I will not be taking questions about which category I fall into. Also, I believe my niece told me that her son, Little Ray, likes the song Gangnam Style. So, it's even funny for babies. Why did these songs go viral? I think all three of these songs became huge for the same reason. They're fun, they're weird, and they're impossible to forget. And most importantly, they don't take themselves seriously. Sometimes we need songs that just make us laugh simply because they're wonderfully ridiculous. Songs about fox noises, songs about fruit and pens, songs with invisible horses. I mean, the internet has given us many things. Some useful, some questionable, and some absolutely hilarious. And I'm very grateful for that because music should make us feel something. And sometimes that feeling is simply laughing until your stomach hurts. All right, up next, we're going to talk about the king of musical comedy himself, the man who turned parody songs into an art form, the one and only Weird Al Yankovic. All right, get ready, everybody, because it is time to talk about a man who deserves his own section in this episode because, honestly, there is nobody quite like him. The king of parody, the sultan of silliness, the accordion-playing legend himself, Weird Al Yankovic. I feel like every generation discovers Weird Al at some point in their lives and immediately thinks, where has this man been all my life? Because once you go down the Weird Al rabbit hole, there is no going back. You start with one song, and the next you know, you're listening to a parody about grammar, then one about being Amish, and somehow you're singing along to a song about being proud to be a nerd. It's a beautiful journey. So who is Weird Al? Weird Al started recording comedy songs in the late 1970s and became famous for taking popular songs and turning them into hilarious parodies. And here's the really amazing thing. He's not just funny, he's incredibly talented. The man sings, writes, plays the accordion, performs all kinds of musical styles, and somehow manages to make every parody sound almost exactly like the original song. And that's not easy. I can barely make my voice memo sound like me. So let's start with Eat It, released in 1984. Now, this song parodies Michael Jackson's Beat It and was written by Weird Al with permission from Michael Jackson himself. Instead of singing about being tough, he sings about finishing your dinner. Honestly, every parent in the 1980s probably wanted this song playing at the dinner table. Eat your broccoli, finish your peas, and somehow it all works. The music video is also hilarious because it's basically a perfect recreation of the original, except everything is about food, which, if we're being honest, is a subject I can get behind. Next up is Like a Surgeon, released in 1985. This one parodies Madonna's Like a Virgin. And instead of a love song, it's about someone who apparently should not be performing surgery. The lyrics are completely ridiculous. You listen to it and think, I absolutely do not want this person operating on me. I want my surgeon to inspire confidence, not sing about accidentally nicking an artery. Then we have Amish Paradise from 1996, a parody of Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. This is one of Weird Al's most beloved songs, and it's also one of my favorite songs by him. The idea of taking this serious, dramatic hip hop song and turning it into a story about butter churning and raising barns is comedy gold. And let's be honest, the line about spending most of our lives living in an Amish paradise gets stuck in your heads for days. I know because it's happening to me right now. Now we move to 2006 and one of my other personal favorites, White and Nerdy. This is a parody of Ridden by Chamillionaire. This song is basically a giant celebration of being a geek. Comic books, video games, action figures, straight A report cards. And honestly, I think a lot of us secretly relate to this song more than we'd like to admit. I mean, if getting excited over a Broadway cast album counts as being nerdy, then I definitely plead guilty. I'm also nerdy in a lot of other ways, but we won't talk about that. Then came Tacky, a parody of Pharrell Williams' Happy. This song celebrates all the little things that make us, well, tacky. Wearing stripes with plaid, taking too many selfies, showing up to a party inappropriately dressed. I mean, it's basically a reminder that none of us are perfect. And that's what makes it so funny, because we've all done something a little tacky at some point. And if you say you haven't, I'm going to need witnesses. Finally, we have Word Crimes. This is a parody of Blurred Lines, and it may be one of the greatest songs ever written for grammar lovers. This song teaches punctuation and proper grammar. Who else could make a song about misplaced apostrophes become a hit? Only Weird Al. Only him. Some teachers probably wanted to play this song every single day. Meanwhile, English teachers everywhere were probably listening to it and saying, finally, someone understands my pain. So why is Weird Al so beloved? I think the reason people love Weird Al is because his music is never mean. It's playful, it's clever, it's joyful. He's just poking fun at songs and pop culture, but he's doing it with affection. And in a world that can sometimes take itself way too seriously, there's something wonderful about an artist whose entire mission is simply to make people laugh. He's been doing it for over 40 years. 40 years. That's longer than some of my favorite artists have even been making music. And somehow, he keeps finding new ways to be funny. That is definitely a gift. So here's to Weird Al Yankovic, the man who proved that comedy songs can be smart, musical, and absolutely unforgettable. And if anyone deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award for making the world laugh, it's him. Now, before we wrap things up, let's talk about why these wonderfully silly songs matter more than we might realize. You know, putting this episode together really made me appreciate something. We need silly songs. We really do. Because life can get heavy sometimes. There are bills to pay, laundry to fold, dishes in the sink, crappy jobs to go to, and that one mysterious password that you swear you wrote down somewhere. And sometimes, after a long day, you don't need a deep emotional ballad that makes you question all of your life choices. Sometimes you need a song about a fox making strange noises, or a disco singing duck, or a man proudly declaring that he's too sexy for his shirt. These songs are important too. I think funny songs remind us to laugh. And we don't do enough of this. I mean, I do. I laugh all the time. But as adults, we spend so much time being responsible. We're paying bills, scheduling appointments, trying to remember why we walked into a room. I mean, I do that all the time. I walk into the kitchen and suddenly I'm standing there like, well, I live here now. And that's why these songs are so wonderful, because they give us permission to be silly, to sing along, to laugh, and to dance around the house doing the horse dance from Gangnam Style. Not that I've ever done that. Funny songs also create memories. I guarantee when you hear certain songs, you're immediately transported back to a special moment. Maybe it's a family road trip. Maybe it's a school dance. Maybe it's hearing your friends bark every time Who Let the Dogs Out came on the radio. I mean, music has this incredible ability to become part of our memories, and funny songs might be the best at doing that because laughter sticks with us. And here's another thing I realized. Funny songs bring people together. You can put on Barbie Girl at a party and suddenly everybody is singing. Play the fox and everyone starts making ridiculous animal noises. Turn on a Weird Al song and suddenly you're all laughing together. There's something really special about that. Not every song has to change the world. Not every song has to be serious or profound. Sometimes a song's job is simply to make you smile for 3 to 4 minutes. And honestly, that's enough. In fact, that is pretty wonderful because joy and laughter matter. And sometimes the silliest songs end up becoming the ones we remember the most. Years from now, I may not remember every number one hit from this year, but I have a feeling I'll still remember the words to Baby Got Back and What Does the Fox Say? And I'm perfectly okay with that. Well, my friends, this episode has officially proven something very important. Music can make us cry, music can make us dance, music can inspire us, and sometimes music can make us laugh so hard that we nearly fall off the couch. I mean, think about the journey we've been on today. We've talked about a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater, a duck that becomes a disco star, a fox that apparently says whatever that noise was, and an accordion playing genius named Weird Al who somehow built an entire career by turning pop songs into comedy gold. Honestly, if someone had told me years ago that all of these songs would become massive hits, I might not have believed them. And yet, here we are, because these songs remind us of something really important. Joy matters, laughter matters, and being a little silly every now and then is actually good for the soul. So the next time you're having a rough day, I highly recommend putting on one of these songs. Sing along, dance around your living room, do the horse dance from Gangnam Style, bark along with the Baha Men, try to figure out what the fox says, or put on some Weird Al and laugh until your stomach hurts. No judgment here. In fact, I encourage it because life is way too short to only listen to serious music all the time. Life is way too short to be serious all the time. Have a little laughter in your life. I mean, sometimes you need a song about a purple monster. Sometimes you need a disco duck. And sometimes you need a man singing passionately about proper grammar. Only in music could all of those things exist in the same playlist. I think that's pretty wonderful. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this delightfully weird episode of The Music of Me. Until next time, keep listening, keep laughing, and never be afraid to embrace the wonderfully weird side of music. And remember, if a song about a flying purple people eater can become a number one hit, anything is possible. Peace out, everybody. This has been the Music in Me podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a beat.